In the past 30 years, drastic changes have come because of doctrines of men in the way things are done in churches. God originally wanted it to be where no man was in control and it would be controlled by a bunch of men, basically, called elders. Elders had a definition that they needed to be such and such before they could be elders. And one of the qualifications of an elder was that he had to be able to teach to be an elder. And rightly so, an elder is an overseer. An overseer must be a person that is able to teach. He should be married and should have his children, you know, under control at all times. He should be able to know how to raise his own kids before he can try to help the church raise their kids. Well, today, it's not so. You hardly see elders in that particular role in the church, and God has not changed. Man has changed God to where churchianity goes on like a social club instead of the truth. God set it up to where it should be elders, and elders had a big responsibility. And men needed to be submissive to the elders as the elders were submissive to men. It was across the board. But today, instead, they have elevated, the pastors have been elevated to the supreme beings in the church. They're like big popes in the church. Some of them have no elders. The last church that came to my city, the guy had no elders, and he didn't want no elders. He wanted to appoint who he wanted to appoint anytime he wanted to appoint. That's wrong. That's what you call a false apostle. They come across real nice. This guy's super nice. Salesman-like. Real. I mean, let me ask you this. Have you ever had an insurance salesman or a car salesman wanting to sell you a car that wasn't nice to you? But what happened after the fact? All of a sudden you begin to realize that, man, it ain't all he told me it was going to be. That car didn't last as long as he said it would last, and it wasn't the best car that I could buy, and, there was something hidden. Well, that's what happens today in churches. You got men that start works because they feel like they want to start works. They're not led of God to start the works. That's what you call a false apostle. Okay? They come on, they're real sweet, they win the heart of a few people. A few people leave another fellowship and they go and they work with him to try to start another fellowship. But, they had to cause a little dissension where they left, and when they come to your city and you go there, and then all of a sudden you want to start another fellowship, and then they think you're the devil. But they just did that to the same church that they left a while back. And I hear all the reports of what was wrong with the other church they left. It's not supposed to be that way. No. We're supposed to have elders. We're not supposed to have a pastor and his wife being the leaders of the church. That's crazy. That's their church. That's not God's church. God never wanted it to be husband and wife in charge of the church. Never. He wanted elders. And elders are teachers. It's a sad state today. There are churches around here that have fellowships of 4,000 or 5,000 people that follow a man, and that man has to, you might have 2 or 3 churches, and that man has to be at every one of those churches to preach for the people to keep going there. With all those people, he can't develop a teacher that he can trust? No, he can't. Because it's all about him instead of all about him. And we need to get back to it's all about him and the heck with man. Because man is only there because of a gift that was given to him. The prophet Isaiah says, what is it about man that you regard him? Let me see if I can find it. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 20, I think it is. Let me get there real quick. It's Isaiah 2:22. Look what it says. Stop regarding man whose breath of life is in his nostrils. For why should he be esteemed? What? That's prophet Isaiah. That's in stone for today. That's what Jesus would say today. Stop regarding man. Why should he be esteemed? Oh, no, we don't esteem men today. What? Holy Father the Pope. What about senior pastor, junior pastor, lay? What? We are esteeming men like crazy in this country. And we're spreading that filth throughout the whole world. We need to get back to truth. And we need men that are called of God, anointed of God. Truth being presented so that God's truth can set the captives free. Stop following men. Follow the word of the Lord. And make sure that that man is following the truth. A man that comes in and he has a fellowship more than 50 people, he better have elders. At least one. Maybe one for every 50. Got 100, 2 elders. Jesus, remember when he had the breaking of the bread and he had his disciples, he says, have them sit in groups of 50. Or one place it says even 100. One man can only take care of so many. That's what your elders are there for. One man cannot be in charge of that whole flock of 5,000 people. You got to trust God.